My precious child, at this very moment, heaven is reaching toward you about someone who is preparing to walk away for good. This is not intimidation. It is not control. It is not fear speaking. It is a sacred warning, a spiritual signal that a door is shutting, a season is concluding, and someone is stepping out of your story if you ignore what is being revealed now. If you brush aside this message from above, if you refuse to respond to the guidance placed before you, there will come a day when you awaken to the reality that someone who once stood faithfully in your life has disappeared without return, and the chance to alter that ending will already be gone. I am Archangel Michael, standing beside you as you hear these words, not only delivering a message, but witnessing what is unfolding. I have guarded this connection. I have contended for its preservation. I have pleaded for one final opportunity, one more moment, to mend what is fractured, to heal what is wounded, to restore what has been overlooked before it becomes permanently lost. Pause right now. Do not scroll away. Remain until the end, because what is about to be spoken may hurt before it heals. It may confront before it consoles. It may uncover truth before it strengthens you. You must listen fully. You must accept what is being shown. Heaven is placing reality before you. This is your closing warning, your final opening to prevent a loss that could echo through your entire life. The number 444 is appearing over you like an urgent transmission from the unseen realm, a sign of angelic nearness, immediate caution, and a decisive hour. When 444 crosses your path today, and it will recognize it as confirmation. The spiritual realm has been trying to capture your attention. The one who is drifting away is reaching a final conclusion in this very season, in these present days. You are being given early notice so you can choose wisely, so you can move, adjust your path before the door's seals shut, and what could have been rescued fades forever. My beloved child, if you are still listening, respond in agreement. I know your heart feels the weight of this because the truth ahead is not easy. It is not comfortable to consider. It is not pleasant to receive, yet it is vital for your awakening, necessary for your growth, and crucial to prevent a regret that could follow you for years, even decades. You have begun to take someone's presence for granted, acting as though they will always remain, treating their devotion as if it demands nothing in return, believing their patience has no limit, expecting forgiveness to come automatically, assuming their place in your life is secured, and heaven makes this clear that assumption is false, seriously false. And if nothing changes, the cost will be deeply painful. And if you don't wake up now, if you don't change now, if you don't act now, this person is leaving you forever. The number 111 is being released over your life right now. And that is the number of new awareness, divine awakening, and urgent revelation. When you see 111, that is heaven announcing that a new chapter is about to begin. But that new chapter might not include the person you think will always be there. Might not feature the relationship you've been neglecting. Might not contain the love you've been taking for granted. Comment, "I receive," so I can see you clearly. Because when you type those words, you're telling heaven that you're ready to hear the hard truth, ready to face the painful reality, ready to take responsibility for how you've been treating this person, how you've been prioritizing other things, how you've been assuming they'll wait forever while you figure out what you want, who you are, where you're going. Stay with me right now, because what I'm about to tell you is going to reveal exactly who this person is. Not by name, but by description, by role, by the pain they've been carrying, by the decision they've been making, by the departure they've been planning. This person has loved you longer than you deserve, more deeply than you've earned, more faithfully than you've reciprocated. They've been patient while you've been distant. They've been loyal while you've been distracted. They've been present while you've been absent. And they've done this not because they're weak, not because they're desperate, not because they have no other options, but because they saw something in you, believed something about you, hoped for something from you that you've consistently failed to deliver. This person is not your enemy. They're not trying to control you. They're not demanding perfection from you. They're simply asking for the bare minimum, for basic respect, for genuine effort, for consistent presence, for authentic priority. And you've been giving them excuses, giving them promises, giving them just enough to keep them hoping, while never giving them enough to actually feel valued, cherished, prioritized, loved the way they've been loving you. Write your first name in the comments so I can stand beside you as this truth lands. Because my beloved child, someone from heaven, is trying to talk to you. And that someone might be a departed loved one who sees what's about to happen, an angel who's been assigned to this relationship, or God himself who's trying to prevent you from making a mistake that will alter the trajectory of your entire life. The number 222 is hovering over your life right now, and that is the number of divine partnerships, critical choices, and relationship reckoning. When you see 222, that is heaven saying this person is significant. This relationship matters. This connection is not random. And what you do in the next few days, the next few weeks, the next few months is going to determine whether they stay or leave, whether this ends or continues, whether you get another chance or this is your final opportunity. Don't skip, because I'm about to tell you exactly what this person has been experiencing. What pain they've been carrying, what thoughts they've been thinking, what decision they've been making, while you've been oblivious, distracted, focused on everything, except the one person who's been steadily, silently, seriously preparing to walk away forever. This person is exhausted. Not just tired from life's normal challenges, but soul tired from carrying the weight of a one-sided relationship, from doing all the work, from being the one who always reaches out, always initiates, always tries, while you respond, when convenient engage, when you feel like it show up, when it doesn't cost you anything. They're exhausted from making excuses for you to others, from defending your behavior when people question why they stay, from convincing themselves that you'll change that. You'll wake up, that you'll finally see them, value them, prioritize them before it's too late. This person is disappointed deeply, disappointed that someone they believed in, someone they invested in, someone they sacrificed for, has shown them repeatedly through actions, not words, that they're not a priority, not important enough to make time for, not significant enough to make changes for, not valuable enough to fight for. They've watched you make time for everything else, everyone else's priorities that shift and change, but never seem to shift toward them. And each instance of being deprioritized has chipped away at their hope, their faith, their belief that you're capable of being the partner, the friend, the family member, the person they need you to be. This person is resolving, not threatening, not manipulating, but genuinely, seriously, finally resolving that they deserve better, that they're worth more, that they cannot continue to pour into someone who refuses to pour back, that they cannot keep hoping for change that never comes, that they cannot waste any more years waiting for you to become who you keep promising you'll be. They've tried talking to you, tried expressing their needs, tried explaining their pain, and you've responded with temporary change that doesn't last, with promises. You don't keep with just enough effort to keep them around, but never enough to make them feel truly valued. The number 555 is exploding over your life right now. And that is the number of massive change, critical transition, and irreversible shift. When you see 555, that is heaven warning you that change is coming, whether you're ready or not. This person is leaving whether you believe it or not. This door is closing whether you act or not. And the only question is whether you're going to wake up in time to prevent it, or whether you're going to regret it for the rest of your life. Subscribe if you want the next message to find you exactly when you need it. Because, my beloved child, what I'm about to tell you next is the part that's going to hurt the most, the truth that's going to cut the deepest, the reality that's going to wake you up the hardest, if anything can wake you up at all. This person has started imagining life without you. Not in anger, not in bitterness, but in peace, in relief, in freedom. From the constant disappointment, the repeated letdowns, the cycle of hope and heartbreak, that's been their reality with you. They've started making plans that don't include, you started thinking about their future without factoring you in. Started mentally and emotionally preparing for the moment when they finally say, I'm done, I'm leaving, I can't do this anymore. And the scariest part, the part that should terrify you into immediate action, is that they're at peace with this decision. They're calm about this choice. They're ready for this departure because they've done everything they could. They've tried everything they knew to try. And they're leaving not with rage, but with sad acceptance that you are who you are. You're not going to change. And they deserve someone who doesn't require this much effort to care about them. Let me tell you who this person might be, because heaven is showing me several possibilities, and your spirit will witness to which one applies to you. This could be your romantic partner, your spouse, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, the person you've been with for years, who's loved you through your worst, who stayed when others left, who's believed in you when you didn't believe in yourself, but who's also been consistently deprioritized, repeatedly disappointed, regularly taken for granted, and who's finally reaching the point where love isn't enough anymore, where history isn't enough anymore, where potential isn't enough anymore. And they need actual change, real effort, genuine priority. Or they're leaving. This could be your parent, your mother, your father, someone who's given you everything, sacrificed for you, endlessly loved you unconditionally, but who's also been disrespected, taken advantage of, treated as if their only purpose is to serve you, support you, be available whenever you need something, but never receive anything in return. They're getting older. Their time is limited, and they're realizing that they deserve to spend their remaining years with people who value them, appreciate them, reciprocate the love they give. And if that's not you, if you can't change, if you won't wake up, they're going to create distance, limit contact, pull back permanently. This could be your best friend, your closest confidant, the person who's been there through everything, who knows all your secrets, who's defended you to everyone, but who's also been constantly let down, repeatedly canceled on, consistently put on the back burner when something or someone more interesting comes along. They've carried the friendship, initiated the contact, made all the plans, and they're tired. So tired of being the only one who tries, the only one who cares, the only one who fights for the relationship. And they're about to stop fighting, stop trying, stop caring, because they've realized that your friendship is one-sided and they deserve reciprocity. This could be your child, your son, your daughter, someone you gave life to but haven't been fully present for, haven't been emotionally available to, haven't prioritized the way they needed to be prioritized. And they're growing up. They're getting older, and the window for having a real relationship with them is closing fast. They're starting to understand that you chose work over them, chose other relationships over them, chose your own interests over them. They're beginning to build walls, create distance. Prepare for a life where you're not the parent they hoped you'd be. And if you don't act now, if you don't change now, you're going to lose them, not physically, but emotionally. And that loss is going to devastate you in ways you cannot imagine right now. The number 777 is being released over your life right now. And that is the number of divine completion, final warning, and last chance. When you see 777, that is God Himself saying, this is it, this is the moment. This is your final opportunity to wake up, to change, to fight for this relationship before it ends permanently. If you're still here, press like, so I know you're receiving this warning. Because, my beloved child, what I'm about to tell you next is what you need to do right now, today, immediately, to prevent this person from leaving you forever. To change the trajectory of this relationship, to prove that you're capable of change, that you're willing to fight, that they matter enough to you to actually prioritize them instead of just promising to prioritize them. First, you need to humble yourself and admit that you've been wrong, that you've been negligent, that you've been taking them for granted, that their feelings are valid, their pain is real, their needs are reasonable, and your behavior has been unacceptable. No excuses, no justifications, no, but I've been busy, or, but I was going through something, or, but they should understand, because those are the same excuses you've been making for months, for years. And those excuses are exactly why they're leaving. Take full responsibility. Own your behavior. Acknowledge the pain you've caused and mean it. Genuinely mean it. Not as a manipulation tactic to keep them around, but as authentic recognition of how you failed them. Second, you need to ask them specifically what they need from you. Not what you think they need. Not what's convenient for you to give, but what they actually need to feel valued, to feel prioritized, to feel like this relationship is worth staying in. And then, this is the critical part. You need to actually do those things consistently over time. Not for a few days or a few weeks until they calm down, but permanently as a genuine change in how you operate, how you prioritize, how you show up in this relationship. Words mean nothing at this point. They've heard all your words. They need to see action, consistent action, sustained effort that proves you're serious about change. Third, you need to demonstrate through specific actions that they're a priority. Not just tell them they are, but show them they are. Cancel other plans to spend time with them. Turn down opportunities that would take you away from them. Sacrifice things you want for things they need. Make them feel chosen, valued, important, because that's what they've been doing for you, and that's what you've been failing to do for them. This doesn't mean you have to give up your entire life, abandon your goals, lose your identity. But it does mean that they need to feel like they're in your top 3 priorities. Not your top 10, not somewhere on the list, but consistently, genuinely, demonstrably important to you. Fourth, you need to ask them for a chance to prove yourself. Not assuming they'll automatically give it to you. Not demanding it as if you are entitled to it, but humbly, genuinely asking if they're willing to give you one more opportunity to show them you can change, you can grow, you can be the person they need you to be. And if they say no, if they tell you it's too late, if they express that they're too hurt, too tired, too done to try again, you need to respect that. You need to release them. You need to let them go without making them feel guilty, without manipulating them into staying, without making this about you and your feelings, when they've been making it about you and your feelings for far too long already. Fifth, you need to get help. Whether that's counseling, therapy, coaching, mentoring, accountability, something that addresses why you've been operating this way, why you've been unable to prioritize this relationship, why you keep making the same promises and breaking them. This isn't about blaming yourself. It's about recognizing that there's something in you that needs healing, something in your patterns that needs breaking, something in your behavior that needs transforming. And you can't do that alone. You need support. You need guidance. You need someone who can help you see your blind spots and change your behaviors. Comment I receive one more time, my beloved child. Because when you make that declaration, you're telling heaven that you hear the warning, that you understand the urgency, that you're going to take action, that you're going to fight for this person, that you're not going to let them leave without doing everything in your power to show them they matter. They're valued. They're loved the way they've been loving you. The number 888 is pouring out over your life right now. And that is the number of new beginnings, second chances, and divine restoration. When you see 888, that is heaven saying, there's still time. The door isn't completely closed yet. You still have an opportunity to change this outcome, but the window is closing fast, and you need to move. Now act now, change now, before it's eternally too late. Let me tell you what's going to happen if you don't heed this warning. If you ignore this message, if you continue operating the way you've been operating in the next 30 to 90 days, this person is going to have a moment, a breaking point, a final straw that makes them realize they're done. They can't do this anymore. They won't do this anymore. It might be another broken promise, another prioritization of something else, another instance of being taken for granted. And in that moment, something inside them is going to shift. Something irreversible is going to happen. And they're going to make a decision that they're leaving, they're done, they're out. And no amount of begging, pleading, promising is going to change their mind, because they've heard it all before. They've seen it all before, and they're finally choosing themselves over you. When they leave, when they walk away, when they create distance, you're going to panic. You're going to try to win them back. You're going to make all the changes you should have made months ago. You're going to offer all the effort you should have been giving all along, but it's going to be too late. Not because they don't love you anymore, but because they love themselves more. They respect themselves more. They value themselves more than they're willing to tolerate being devalued by you. You're going to experience a loss, a grief, a regret that's going to be unlike anything you felt before. Because this isn't like other breakups, other endings, other losses. This is the loss of someone who genuinely loved you, who genuinely tried, who genuinely gave you chance after chance, and you wasted every single one. You're going to try to replace them. You're going to look for someone else. You're going to attempt to fill the void they left, but you're going to realize that what you had was rare, was special, was valuable, and you threw it away. You neglected it. You took it for granted until it was gone. Every new person you meet is going to be compared to them. Every new relationship is going to be measured against what you had. And you're going to spend years, possibly decades, wishing you had done things differently. Wishing you had listened to this warning. Wishing you had changed when you had the chance, instead of changing after you lost them. The number 999 is stamping your life right now. And that is the number of completion, final endings, and last opportunities. When you see 999, that is heaven declaring that a chapter is closing, a season is ending, a relationship is concluding, and you have a choice to make. You have action to take, you have change to implement before the door closes permanently. And what could have been saved is lost forever. Don't scroll away, because I'm about to tell you the specific signs that will appear in the next 7 to 21 days that will confirm this person is indeed leaving, that this warning is accurate, that you need to act immediately before it's too late. Within 7 days, you're going to notice a change in their energy toward you, a shift in how they interact with you, a difference in their responsiveness, their warmth, their engagement. They're going to be more distant, more guarded, more detached, not because they're trying to punish you, but because they're protecting themselves, preparing themselves, creating emotional distance in preparation for physical or relational distance. Pay attention to this shift. Don't dismiss it as them having a bad day or being stressed about other things. This is them beginning the process of letting go, of releasing you, of preparing to leave. Within 14 days, they're going to stop doing certain things they used to do. Stop initiating contact as much. Stop making plans as frequently. Stop going out of their way to check on you, to be there for you, to support you the way they always have. This isn't because they don't care anymore. It's because they're testing. They're seeing if you'll notice, if you'll step up, if you'll finally be the one who pursues, who initiates, who makes effort. And if you don't, if you remain passive, if you assume everything is fine, that's going to confirm for them that you don't value the relationship enough to fight for it. Within 21 days, they're going to have a conversation with someone close to them. A friend, a family member, a counselor, where they verbalize their decision to leave, where they say out loud for the first time, "I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I'm leaving." And speaking it out loud is going to solidify it, make it more real, more concrete, more inevitable. This conversation is going to give them permission to leave, affirmation that they're not being unreasonable, support for making a decision that's been building for months or years. The number 111 is flashing over your life like a divine alarm clock. And that is the number of spiritual awakening, urgent warning, and final call. When you see 111, that is heaven screaming, "Wake up, pay attention." Someone is leaving you forever. You need to act now. You need to change now. You need to fight now before it's too late. Write your first name one final time so I can seal this warning over you, so heaven can record your awareness, So this person's guardian angel can know that you've been warned, that you've been alerted, that what happens next is your choice, your responsibility, your consequence to live with. But before I pray, my beloved child, I need to give you more specific details about what this person has been going through emotionally, mentally, spiritually, as they've been preparing to leave you. Because understanding their internal journey is going to help you appreciate the gravity of this situation, the depth of their pain, the finality of their decision. Let me walk you through the stages they've experienced. The progression they've traveled, the evolution they've undergone from hoping you'd change to accepting that you won't. Stage 1 was hope. In the beginning of their disappointment with you, they had hoped that you'd wake up, that you'd see them, that you'd change, that you'd become the person they needed you to be. Every time you let them down and they told themselves, maybe next time. Every time you broke a promise, they convinced themselves they're just going through something. Every time you failed to prioritize them, they rationalized they'll get better when things calm down. They defended you to themselves, made excuses for you in their own mind, maintained hope, despite mounting evidence that you weren't going to change, that you didn't see the problem, that you were comfortable with the status quo, even though it was killing them slowly. Stage 2 was voice. After hope sustained them for a while, they reached a point where they needed to speak up, to express their needs, to communicate their pain, to tell you directly what was hurting them, what they needed from you, what had to change for them to stay. They had difficult conversations with you, vulnerable conversations, where they exposed their heart, their needs, their disappointments. And they hoped, desperately hoped, that speaking up would create change, would wake you up, would move you to action. Some of you heard them but didn't really listen. Some of you listened but didn't really change. Some of you changed temporarily, but reverted back to old patterns. And each time you failed to sustain the change they needed, their hope diminished. Their faith in you eroded. Their belief that you were capable of being different crumbled a little more, piece by piece. Stage 3 was bargaining. When voice didn't produce lasting change, they entered a season of internal negotiation, lowering expectations, reducing needs, adjusting requirements, trying to find a version of the relationship they could live with, trying to make peace with getting less than they deserved, trying to convince themselves that what you were willing to give was enough, even though deep down they knew it wasn't. They told themselves, at least they're not abusive, at least they provide financially, at least they come home at night, at least they're still here, settling for crumbs when they deserved a feast, accepting the bare minimum while giving maximum effort, trying to make themselves smaller, less needy, less demanding, so you wouldn't have to change, so you wouldn't have to grow. Stage 4 was exhaustion, and eventually bargaining stopped working. The lowered expectations still weren't being met, and they entered complete emotional, mental, spiritual exhaustion. They were just tired, profoundly tired, tired of carrying the relationship, tired of being the one who tries, tired of making excuses for you, tired of hoping for change that never comes. This exhaustion isn't fixed by rest, isn't healed by vacation, isn't solved by time off, because it's soul exhaustion, spirit exhaustion. The kind of tired that comes from loving someone who doesn't love you back the same way, from giving to someone who doesn't give back equally, from fighting for someone who doesn't fight for the relationship. Stage 5 was detachment. When exhaustion reached its peak, something shifted inside them. Something protective kicked in, and they began to detach emotionally, to pull back spiritually, creating internal distance even while remaining physically present. They stopped expecting anything from you, stopped hoping you'd change, stopped being disappointed when you let them down because they stopped counting on you to show up, to follow through, to be who they needed you to be. This detachment looks like indifference, feels like coldness, Appears like they don't care anymore. But the truth is they care so much that they had to stop caring, to protect themselves from the constant pain of being let down by you. Stage 6 was preparation. Once they detached emotionally, they began preparing practically, logistically, spiritually for departure. They started imagining life without you, making plans that don't include you, thinking about their future in ways that exclude you, and most importantly, they started becoming okay with the idea of leaving, finding peace with the possibility of being without you, believing that their life might actually be better, freer, happier, without the constant disappointment, without the repeated letdowns, without the perpetual cycle of hope and heartbreak that has defined their reality with you. Stage 7 is decision. This is where they are right now, in this season, in these days. They're making their final decision, weighing one more chance against executing the departure they've been planning. To stay and hope things change, or to leave and finally find peace. And here's what you need to understand. Once they reach stage 7, once they are in decision mode, they are about 90% gone. 90% sure they're leaving, 90% committed to the departure. And you have a very small window, a very narrow opportunity, a very brief moment to do something dramatic, something significant, something that proves you're finally serious about change, or they're gone forever. Finally, the number 2222 is exploding over your life right now. And that is the number of final confirmation. Ultimate warning, last appeal from heaven. When you see 2222, that is God saying, I've confirmed this warning twice. I've validated this message completely. I've given you every sign you need to know this is real. This person is leaving you, need to act now. Let me give you a very specific action plan. A step-by-step roadmap. Exactly what you need to do in the next 24 hours, the next 72 hours, the next 7 days. Within the next 24 hours, you need to have a face-to-face conversation with this person. Not a text, not a phone call, not a message. An in-person, vulnerable, honest conversation where you take full responsibility for how you've been treating them. Where you acknowledge specifically what you've done wrong. Where you express genuine remorse, not for being caught, but for causing them pain. Where you ask them directly, are you thinking about leaving me? Are you planning to end this relationship? Because if they are, you need to understand how serious this is, how much damage has been done. Within 72 hours, your words must turn into action visible, undeniable action. Cancel something that matters to you. Rearrange your schedule to prioritize them. Make a sacrifice that costs you comfort. That proves they matter more than convenience. It must be significant, something they notice. Something that feels different. Something that proves you are willing to do what you've never done before. Because the alternative is losing them. Permanently. Within 7 days, you need a plan, not emotion. Not panic, a plan. Not just what you will do this week, but what you will do next month, the next 3 months, the next year. A structured path toward becoming the person this relationship requires. Specific actions, measurable goals, accountability systems. Because they've heard promises before. They've seen temporary change before. This time must feel different, serious, sustainable. Within 14 days, involve a third party, a counselor, a therapist, a pastor, a mentor. Someone who can help you confront why you've operated this way. Why prioritizing them has been difficult. Why consistency has been missing. This shows you are not just trying harder in your own strength, but seeking help, seeking wisdom, seeking transformation. It proves you are willing to do whatever it takes. Not just to keep them, but to become different. Within 21 days, they must see sustained change, consistent effort, ongoing prioritization, not intensity fueled by fear, but stability rooted in growth. A new pattern forming, not a temporary reaction. They need to feel that this isn't panic because they might leave. They need to feel that this is transformation in how you love, how you show up, how you commit. That something inside you has truly shifted. My beloved child, let me tell you what I hope happens. I hope you take this warning seriously. I hope you act immediately. I hope you humble yourself and fight for this person. Fight for this relationship. Fight to become the version of you they've been waiting for. Fight with maturity, with consistency, with courage. Not ego, not pride, not defensiveness. I hope you prove the ending wrong. I hope you demonstrate that change is possible. I hope you show them they matter enough to be prioritized, valued, deeply loved. I hope that 30 days from now, 60 days, 90 days you return with a testimony, saying this warning woke you up, saying you changed just in time, saying they stayed because your actions finally matched your words, that you showed through repetition, through discipline, through time that they are a priority, that you value them, that you love them the way they deserve. That is my hope. That is heaven's desire. But the choice is yours. The action is yours. The change is yours. And time is running out. And you must also prepare for another possibility, that even if you do everything right, even if you fight, even if you change, they may still leave. Not because your change isn't real, but because the damage may be too deep, because the hurt may be too severe, the trust too fractured. And they may need to leave for their own healing, their own peace, their own well-being. If that happens, you must respect it. Release them without manipulation, without guilt, without making them responsible for your pain when you were responsible for theirs. Let them go with dignity, and use this loss as awakening. For your future, for your next relationship, for the way you operate moving forward. Because the patterns that cost you this love will cost you the next one too, if left unchanged. Learn from this pain, grow from this consequence, transform through this experience. So the next person who loves you does not suffer the same neglect, does not feel the same loneliness, does not have to walk away because you failed to value them, to prioritize them, to love them properly. Let this be the lesson that reshapes you. The number 1212 is being released right now. Divine urgency, critical timing, final opportunity. When you see 1212, it is God saying, act now, move now, change now. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel ready. Now immediately, urgently, before the person heaven warned you about walks away forever. Stay till the end, because I'm about to pray over you. And this prayer is going to break through whatever has been keeping you stuck, whatever has been preventing you from prioritizing this person, whatever has been blocking you from being who they need you to be. Whatever fear, whatever pride, whatever selfishness has been operating in you that's caused you to take for granted someone precious, someone valuable, someone irreplaceable. Now I need you to get into position to receive this final prayer, this prophetic declaration, this heavenly intervention. Stand if you can. Lift your hands if possible. Put your hand over your heart if you're somewhere you can't do either. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Feel my presence surrounding you, not with condemnation, but with conviction. Not with judgment, but with urgency. Not with anger, but with desperate hope that you'll heed this warning before it's too late. Before this person walks away forever, before you lose someone precious, someone valuable, someone you're going to spend years wishing you had fought for when you had the chance. And hear these words as if God Himself is speaking them directly into your spirit, into your conscience, into the deepest part of who you are. My beloved child, I declare over you right now that scales are falling from your eyes, that you're seeing clearly for the first time how you've been treating this person, how you've been taking them for granted, how you've been failing them repeatedly. I break the spirit of complacency, the attitude of entitlement, the assumption that they'll always be there no matter how you treat them. I release conviction over you, not to condemn you, but to awaken you, to shake you, to move you to immediate action before you lose someone precious, someone valuable, someone you're going to desperately wish you had fought for when it's too late to fight. I declare that you have time. You have opportunity. You have a chance to change this outcome. But the window is closing. The door is narrowing. And you must move now. Act now, change now, or face a loss that will haunt you for the rest of your life. I declare supernatural courage to humble yourself, divine wisdom to know what to do, holy persistence to follow through, and genuine transformation that proves your change is real, is lasting, is worth them giving you another chance. I declare that this person is going to feel your change, see your effort, witness your transformation. If your change is real, if your effort is steady and your heart is sincere, they will notice. They will feel the difference. They may choose to remain, to believe that this time you truly understand, that you finally recognize their worth and are ready to love them the way they deserve. But if this is only temporary, if your resolve fades and old habits return after a few weeks, they will walk away. They will close the chapter without looking back, because the last opportunity will have been wasted. You will have shown them that the growth they needed from you was never truly there. Heaven reached out to you today. A warning was delivered. Insight was given advance notice so you could alter the future. Now the responsibility rests in your hands. The decision is yours. The movement is yours. Do not allow this person to disappear from your life forever. Fight for them, evolve for them. Make it clear that they matter. Let your actions prove you heard the call. Show that transformation is possible. Begin doing what love required from you all along before the chance slips away, before they are gone, before all that remains is regret and the echo of what might have been if you had awakened sooner, acted quicker, tried harder. The opportunity is shrinking. The door is nearly shut. Time is slipping through your hands. Move, now, change now. Stand and fight in Jesus' mighty name. Amen. Open your eyes and respond in faith if this message has reached you. If you accept this warning, if you are choosing immediate action to keep this person from leaving for good, a voice from heaven spoke to you today about someone on the verge of walking away. You heard it. You felt it. You already know the steps you must take. Now let your behavior confirm that you listened. Let your effort reveal that you care. Show them their value before it becomes permanent loss and you are left only with sorrow. And with the piercing question, why didn't I fight? When I still had the chance, it is sealed. Amen. Amen.